interrupt our program to bring you a special broadcast.
Boom! Headshot!
Hey, it's Clay. How's everybody doing? And yes, believe it or not, this is Black Ops 2. I decided to pull the trigger on PC. I've been a Battlefield 3 guy the last year. That's kind of been my primary shooter. But I played Call of Duty in the past. My first introduction was World at War. I had it on PC, and I really liked it. I really got into the zombies mode with some of my friends in college, and played quite a bit of Black Ops. Didn't really get into Modern Warfare 2 or Modern Warfare 3 because they sucked. But I really did enjoy Black Ops as a whole. So Black Ops 2 had me intrigued. I wasted $60 on Modern Warfare 3 last year, so I was really hesitant about it, but, kind of got a little bit caught up in the hype, and when I heard that things actually weren't terrible on PC, I just decided to pull the trigger. One of the things about Call of Duty is there's usually a lot of content available, with, the campaign, the multiplayer, and the zombies. You definitely usually get your money's worth if it's not a horrible game, so I thought I would just give it a shot. But what I really want to talk about right now is specifically the campaign, because I literally just finished it about half an hour ago. I just got up, used the restroom, and took a drink of water because I pretty much, it's about 5 o'clock in the evening right now, and I downloaded the game last night. So yesterday was release day, and I got it last night. Downloaded it on Steam, and I started playing, so I pretty much have done nothing else other than the campaign, and just kind of wanted to give my first thoughts specifically on the campaign, but a little bit on Black Ops 2 as a whole, and it's specifically on PC. I'm not going to get it on the other, I'm not going to get it on Xbox. I'm a PC guy, and this is definitely where I want to play it. Now, the first thing that I want to talk about is how it runs on PC. I would say, as a whole, this is the best Call of Duty on PC yet. Call of Duty 4 was really good, and I would say that this definitely is on that level, and maybe even a little bit better. Looking at just the basic settings, we've got a lot of different graphic settings. Currently looking at sound, but you've got your standard things like your screen resolution, but even more. You've got a field of view, which is really nice. All these other choices here. Taking a look at our graphic settings, we've got a lot of choices, and even little things like showing your FPS in the top right-hand corner. I think that's really cool. Being able to unlock your frames, it's really cool. All these different sound options, even like being able to change some of your presets about the mix, bass boost, high boost, all these things. I think that's really cool. I'm using headphones, so let's go ahead and do that. It definitely feels like a PC game and not just a crappy console game that was ported to PC. Like I've seen with many, I feel like some of the other Call of Duties were definitely that way. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at the campaign. Now, as a whole, I would definitely say that the campaign was good. It definitely did not, blow my mind in any way. It definitely did not, change a whole bunch, but it was good. It was a good campaign. It was definitely what I had hoped for and expected. It was fairly, it was moderately long. It really wasn't too long, wasn't too short, so it did a good job in terms of pacing. Now, I'm not going to give a lot of spoilers. I just kind of want to give some overview, and not really draw out any of the big details of the game, because if you guys want to play it, I don't want to ruin it for you. But one of the things that the campaign does is it kind of bounces back. You can see this is 1986. It bounces back between 2025 and 1986. So it picks up from the old Black Ops game. You've got all those old characters, Alex Mason, Frank Woods, and now Alex Mason's son David is one of the main protagonists in the story as they battle Raul Menendez. And it definitely picks up on, what was happening in the past. It definitely picks up on, some of those old storylines, the ways in which Frank Woods and Alex Mason, the way that they interacted with Raul Menendez back in the 80s. And I think that this is cool. It definitely provides a cool pacing. It brings back even some of the old guns, like the Galil and the AK-47. It brings back a lot of those old cool things from Black Ops 1, which I think is really cool, kind of paying homage to its history. I like that. I like that about this campaign, and it did a good job of pacing. You're not always playing with the same guys. You're not always playing in the same types of settings. Because the old missions, they weren't necessarily my favorite, but there was a little bit of a nostalgia there, a little bit of a, kind of remembering this old time period. Whereas the new missions, you definitely get to experience a lot of the new gadgets, a lot of the new technologies. It's very, there's a lot more variety there, which I think is cool, and it definitely provided some really fun contrast. Now, another thing that I really need to mention is they did something new, and this is with these I don't remember exactly what they're called, but it's these side missions. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. So there are, I want to say, 4 of them throughout the campaign, and these are not necessarily related to the story as much as they just kind of provide a little bit of a different feel. And what it does is it puts you into this squadron where you need to, complete some sort of objective. And while you're completing this objective, you actually get to control, kind of like almost like an RTS where you get to, from the top down control, your infantry and your drones, and you really get to kind of control what you're doing instead of being just this one guy who is running through and killing all this stuff. You get to, so right here I got to kill the Kraken, and if I can ever get into the actual mission, we'll see that there will be some air drones. There will be some of the claw, which is like the walking dinosaur gun-mounted type things, and then there's also infantry. So it definitely does a really cool job of spicing things up. And the biggest thing that I have to say about this is that it's really nice that it's something new and different. It's something that we haven't seen before. So let's go ahead and okay, so here's my infantry team. We're going to go ahead and drop down. And I just kind of want to show off how it all works. So let's go ahead and if I go ahead and hit tab, you can see that I've got, this infantry team number 5. But then we've also got, where's my other guys? Okay, well, it says right now that all I have is 1 unit, which was different from the way I did it the first time around. Well, let's go ahead and pull our guys back. But I can control where they're at, and then I can enter them in first-person control these guys. And, using a little gadget grenade launcher there. So overall, it's really cool. And we're trying to capture these 3 points, A, B, and C. Oh, get out of here, bro. It's definitely cool. It's definitely kind of a cool mechanic. The AI of the bots that you're fighting is pretty idiotic. But I don't know if I necessarily would call that a huge problem. Oh, hey, bro. I'm playing it on regular, so it's definitely not going to be too hard. Badly injured. But I recover and lickety-split. Now, the biggest thing is definitely learning how this all controls. Okay, so now you can see at the bottom of my screen I've got number 1. I've got a bot enabled. So let's go back and hit tab. And we can see here we've got if we hit 1 and then click, that unit will actually go into that area. And if I hold 1, I can control it. And now I can use this bot to actually, do some work. Oh. Got some drones after me. Let's take them out. So yeah, it's really cool. It provides some variety. It's a little bit difficult to control, so I would definitely recommend taking your time learning how it all works. But it's fun. It's definitely something different, which I like. It's something different. So it's cool. I really dig it. I'm gonna go ahead and quit out because I don't want to spend too much time on the Strike Force stuff, but I think it was a cool addition. Now, just to kind of talk more generally about the campaign, I thought it was a really good campaign. There were times where it was a little bit graphic. I wouldn't say I'm like squeamish about stuff like that, but it was like at times it was like, whoa. I mean, I know it's kind of trying to be edgy and appeal to. I mean, it's ironic because usually it's a younger audience playing this game, but it does kind of appeal to that sense. But it gets a little bit graphic, which is a little bit meh. But in terms of like the way that the story goes, it's pretty engaging. It's a fun story. You get caught up in it. You definitely want to see how it ends. There's a lot of shooting. There's a lot of different cool gadgets that you can use. It never feels like, too overly repetitive. There's good pacing. There's good, going back and forth between these missions, and also going back and forth in terms of your time period. I think it provides a lot of differentiation, which is really cool. And overall, it's definitely a good campaign. I definitely recommend it. I think it's one of the better Call of Duty campaigns that we've seen yet. It is what it is. It's cool. And the biggest thing, though, is that it runs well on PC. I was getting good frames. I have a 6950 graphics card. I've got a i5 2500K that's like very slightly overclocked, 8 gigs of RAM. So a pretty standard PC setup, maybe above average. Definitely not like a real beefy PC, but it's cool. It's definitely it runs well. It's well optimized. It feels good. I give it a thumbs up. So overall, in terms of the campaign, I would recommend it. I think it's fun. It runs well on PC. It has good variety. There's good, it spices it up. It adds some new things by, the time periods, and also adding in those Strike Force missions. I definitely would recommend it if you guys are interested. I give it a thumbs up. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you've got any questions or comments, please let me know, and I will see you guys later.